more fucking around. It's Wild Style Radio. Wild Style Radio.
What's up? And welcome to the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. We're coming to you live from Salisbury Center Studios in Manassas, Virginia, part of the Wild Style Network. What's up, my friend?
Happy Tuesday, brother. Happy Tuesday. A rare night for us because those that watch us live typically watch us on Wednesday.
That's correct.
Not Tuesday, but the beauty of this day is something that we celebrate all the time, which is live music.
Live music, and we got a special guest we're going to be bringing in.
Yeah.
Austin Ingerman, guitarist of the band Gunshine, who's going to be at the Salisbury Center on Thursday, April 23rd. So we want to chat with him, talk a little bit about the band and the upcoming show. Welcome, Austin.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having us out here on the road. Actually, we just played Canada a couple days ago, and then we got a couple more shows here, then we'll be down your way. So
awesome.
Looking forward to it.
So you guys are still north of the border.
Still north of the border, yeah. We still got to cross in.
But taking the interview outside.
Yeah. We were kind of going down the road there, so we were almost at our destination. They're just pulling over in a parking spot. So sorry, I got my. So it's funny. Our singer Jordan, he cut his hair. I got mine's getting longer now. It's all blowing everywhere in the wind.
Yeah,
we were talking about that. We saw that Jordan cut his hair. We were surprised to see that. What, I guess that's a style question. How'd that come about?
Yeah, he actually he donated his hair for Locks of Love, and for cancer patients and stuff, and so he just kind of wanted to change things up a little bit, and we thought it was a cool thing. So, and bands, anytime there's a new album cycle, sometimes it's cool when people change their look up and everything as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're excited to see you guys. What actually will be the second time we've seen you all.
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, you guys were opening up for Buck Cherry, so we saw you at a club down the road, and you put on a great show. So excited to see what's new with you guys and help promote the show that's coming up here at the Salisbury Center.
Absolutely, man. What show was that with Buck Cherry? I'm trying to remember. That was at
it was the Tally Ho in Leesburg.
Mountain. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was a fun night. So what was it like, because we are Buck Cherry fans as well as Gunshine fans, what was it like to tour with Buck Cherry?
Oh, man, Buck Cherry, those guys, they're all a class act. I'm sorry, I'm getting back on the bus now, so it should be a little quieter.
Sure.
No, those guys are all awesome, man. They're very cool. We would sit and talk to them. They're also very routine oriented. So they have their schedule. They like to be on the bus, warm up and everything, which is very similar to kind of how I like to do things. And, you can tell they've been on the road for a long time,
Right. I consider them road dogs. It seems like they are constantly touring. Like you guys, I see a lot of tour dates that you're posting up and doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. We're out here staying busy. We're touring until the 24th, and then we get the month of May off, and then we'll be hitting it hard June and July, and then all throughout the rest of the year. So it's going good, man. The response has been awesome, and like I said, we just played Canada, and that was our first international show for this band, and it was a packed house. So we're very grateful.
Excellent.
So tell us and the folks that are watching and potentially will be coming out to catch you guys live a little bit about the band. There is some information on your website, so it sounds like you guys kind of came together in 2020-ish in and around COVID, but what's the story of Gunshine? How'd you guys get together?
Yeah, so I started the band. I was touring with a band called New Year's Day, and we were touring with Hailstorm and Godsmack and In This Moment, Falling Reverse, and that was really cool. But it was I was kind of more of a hired gun in that band, and I've been writing songs ever since I was a teenager. Been really into. That's actually the whole reason I even play guitar, is because I love to come up with vocal melodies and riffs and arrange songs and stuff. So I always kind of had the vision to kind of make my own thing, and kind of combine the melodic part of things with the more edgy kind of rock and roll stuff. So it's almost like if you took the melodies of Boston and Def Leppard and combine it with more the grit of a GNR or something like that. But with a very modern sound as well. On this new record, I incorporated the sound of 7-string guitars and everything as well. But so the band, I was on tour with New Year's Day, and I flew home from Europe 2 days before the world shut down, which was wild.
Yeah.
And then the whole time I was touring with that band, I was kind of compiling ideas and compiling things that would make up our first album with Gunshine. So I was working behind the scenes, auditioning different singers, trying to put all the pieces together, and trying not to waste time because it was impossible to find singers. You know, it was you're trying people from all over the country, and I lived in LA at the time, and we were trying people out there, and just I had a certain sound in my head of what I was trying to go for, and we just couldn't really find the right thing. So fast forward to like I said, the COVID thing, and then I went back home to Pensacola, Florida, where I'm from, and someone said, "Hey, you should try to get this guy. He plays in the local dueling piano bar, and I think he would sound good for what you're trying to do." So I got Jordan over, and we wrote the song "Wall Said to Call" together in just a few hours. So that, like I said, I kind of had some of the things in place already, but once he came over, we were able to kind of sit and write lyrics together and finish the song in just a few hours. So, and then after that, we were rolling.
Excellent. You mentioned your prior band, New Year's Day, and then I just heard you mention also like a stint with living in Los Angeles, and I hear a heavy influence of Los Angeles-based and Sunset Strip-based sound in your songwriting. How did you come to love that sound, and what drew you to it?
Well, even though I did live there, I was actually into it. So like playing in cover bands from where I'm from in Pensacola, Florida, like growing up playing the bar, there's really not much of an original scene. So even if you write songs kind of behind the scenes or whatever, like to make money, you kind of you got to get out there and kind of, do the cover band stuff. But there's a big scene for it down there on the Gulf Coast of Florida, because you have all the spring break party stuff and tourism and stuff like that. So anyways, I was growing up playing, Rat songs and Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And I was just always drawn to that kind of grit and that bite. And, my dad was showing me stuff like Pat Travers and Ozzy and all kinds of stuff. And it's just kind of what I was drawn to. I just liked the big dramatic, melodies. And I'm also a 90s kid. So, my sister and I, we were raised on, we were hearing, like Avril Lavigne at the time and Backstreet Boys and all the catchy pop stuff that was coming out. So it's almost like, again, combining all that stuff in a melting pot. But yeah, the Sunset Strip stuff is definitely in there, but we call it swamp rock because we're from the South, and there's a little bit more of a grittiness, a nastiness to it that's not super prevalent with the LA stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe more the gritty LA Guns, GNR, the late 80s, early 90s,
Sure.
Sunset Strip stuff. I feel a lot of that, and maybe some AC/DC in a lot of your music.
Yeah, well, what's funny is our singer Jordan, he only knows like 2 Guns N' Roses songs, and he only knows like 2 Motley Crue songs, and he doesn't know any of this stuff, which is funny. He kind of comes from more like the Nashville country gospel kind of world, but he's a really big AC/DC fan. He loves Styx and Journey and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say like the GNR stuff. I'm a huge Slash fan, and so that all kind of trickles in. But yeah, it's like I said, it's kind of a big melting pot of different influences and stuff. But yeah, it's presented in a little bit different. There's a twist to it that's again a little different than LA kind of sound. It's more of a southernness to it, I guess you would say, a little twang to it.
So sure, for the name of the band though, I got to ask you about that, because to me, there's when I hear Gunshine, and you speak to Florida, we of course think of the Sunshine State, so Gunshine, Sunshine. Am I making that connection the right way, or is there more to that name?
No, you got it nail on the head right there. Yeah. So it was interesting when we recorded the first album, we didn't even have a band name yet. So then we were trying to figure out, okay, well, we're about to play live, so we need to hire a bass player. First of all, we started the band without a bass player, and then we were like, okay, then we need to get a band name, obviously, too. So I was Googling different Florida terms. I was trying to think of different people's street names and stuff, because the thought in my head was like, everyone's from LA and all these different places, bigger cities. How can we have something that represents that we're from Florida, that we're, especially we're from a small town, Pensacola, which is kind of a hidden gem across the country. But Yeah, so we're thinking of different people's like street names and whatever we could think of, and I just Googled, different Florida terms, and it said sometimes Florida's known as the Gunshine State because it's just like you said, it's the Sunshine State, but it's shaped like a gun. So that's how we got that.
Excellent.
Cool. And so you have a couple of releases out that folks, if they haven't heard any of your music before, they can find. But it also looks like, and you mentioned, you got a new album getting ready to come out, or it's advertised on the website. So,
yeah, brand new album, Grand Rising. We're super stoked about it. Once if you dive into this album, it'll kind of give you a little hint of what we do, and that's just to constantly throw curveballs and keep people guessing. And we're not the kind of band that has one sound over and over. So you'll definitely find that with this album. There's 2 ballads. There's an acoustic song. We have a song to end the record called Table Dancing, which is like 5 songs in one. It goes into like a Frank Sinatra part and a 70s disco part and all kinds of stuff. So we had fun with it, man. So it's a fun album.
and you had a recent single release, Goth Girl. Is that going to be on the album as well, or was that just released ahead of the album?
Yeah, we had Goth Girl in January, then we had 2 more singles released since then. So we had Valentine in February, and then we had Single Looks Good on You in March. And then the next one comes out at the end of April called Finite. So we've had about to be 4 singles so far, and then the full record drops digitally July 24th.
Awesome.
And that's your primary process for releasing that music then, right? Digitally, because we talk to different emerging bands and they have different recording processes and preferences as to how they release music. So are people going to find Gunshine music primarily in those digital platforms, or are there other vinyl and other outlets that you're using and selling as well?
Well, no. So we did something very interesting and unique. We released the full album on physical vinyl and CD before the digital release ever comes out. So if you want the physical version right away, you can actually get it. You can you click on the links in our social media bios or our website, gunshineband.com, and it'll take you to where you can order the album on vinyl, CD, or if you come out to one of the shows, you can grab one as well, and we'll sign it for you, of course, and, all that stuff. So yeah, that's something that's a little unique. I haven't seen really many people do, but we just wanted to kind of satiate the people that, want the physical release and don't want to wait for 6 singles to come out before hearing the album.
Right. No, that's great. I know we've talked a little bit. I've started to get back into vinyl. That's when I was younger, that's the only way we were listening to music. So definitely be picking that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a double album. We got the exclusive gold vinyl and everything, so we're really excited about it. And like I said, it's a fun album. It's a whole listening experience from top to bottom. So we're super pumped on it.
We hear, you're describing as your music is high energy music, and we certainly know that because we've seen your live show. I'd also add to that, it's a high energy live show. How do you guys keep up your energy levels as you're touring so much on the road? You guys do that all the time.
Good question, man. Yeah, a lot of caffeine and trying to get the best sleep you can. But honestly, when you go on stage, it's like, all the everything from the day, any kind of tiredness seems to go away. Get the adrenaline going, especially the more people that are in the crowd and the more energetic they are, then, we feed off that energy and stuff too. So yeah, we've been fortunate that we've had some great shows on this tour, and the fans have just been awesome, and people telling us their stories and how the music helped them or how they love listening to it, and all that stuff is really like, gas in the tank. It really keeps you going and reminds you kind of why you're out here doing this.
Sure.
Yep. And you got a number of videos that are up on your website as well. So, and most of them are pretty live, I would say live based, you guys performing. So folks could get a good sense of what to expect when they come out to the Salisbury Center and check you guys out.
Yeah, we got a lot of music videos we're putting out too. We're trying to do a music video with every single song. So we have a really good video director, Garrett Barefoot is his name, and he's very, very talented. We just put out a video for the newest Single Looks Good on You. We have one for Goth Girl. It's really fun. We have one for Valentine. Like I said, we're going to try to do one for every single. So yeah, definitely check out the music videos. And then we should have some more live videos as well popping up on YouTube as well. So yeah, Yeah, and of course, come on out to a show wherever you're at. Yeah, if you can make that one wherever you're at, and it's gonna be awesome.
Excellent. So, and then you mentioned that you crossed the border. You made an international, jaunt into Canada. Is there any other, bigger kind of touring news that you guys have? Because obviously we're seeing you go up and down the East Coast here of the U.S. quite a lot. Any other different directions that you find yourself going in an upcoming tour?
Oh man, anywhere and everywhere. We're kind of just getting this thing. It's so hard to start a band from scratch. There's a lot of building you got to do, trying to get fans on social media and everything. So we're really just scratching the surface in terms of all the touring. So there's still so many places we want to hit. So we're down to go anywhere, honestly, and we're just getting started.
Excellent.
Nice. So no, I know there's a lot of summer festivals coming up. Anything booked for you guys in that realm, or are you just doing mostly the clubs and small type venues?
No, we've got several festivals and stuff. Yeah, gunshineband.com has all the tour dates there. You can just click tour and it'll take you to everything. But yeah, there's been festivals announced, different we're kind of trying to build this thing as a headliner, so we're doing a lot of headline shows and stuff like that this year. But yeah, it's a pretty good variety of stuff going on.
And you mentioned obviously being up in Canada. What towns are you hitting while you're up there? Is it more Eastern Canada? I would presume.
We just popped in to do one date in London, Ontario, but then we're going to be coming back to do Calgary, I believe, and then we're going to come back and try to do Toronto, I think, later in the year as well. So we love it up here.
Awesome.
I'm going to jump away from a specific Gunshine question on this one, because Kevin and I jump out and we talk a lot of rock happenings and rock news. We just got news that Iron Maiden was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, very stunningly, because we've been, complaining about that, for lack of better words, for a long time. Are you an Iron Maiden fan? Any thoughts towards that?
I mean, super, super deserving of it, right? I mean, I need to dive deeper into the catalog to just immerse myself in every single record. But I mean, obviously, Wasted Years and of course that's probably one of my favorite ones. And just such legends, man. So it's I mean, it's crazy because these guys, a lot of these bands should be inducted way earlier than they are, really. But I'm glad they finally got in there. So
absolutely.
What about so you mentioned, I mean, you guys are clearly, have some classic rock, some classic metal roots, but with a new edge, like you mentioned. What are some other newer rock bands that you're into, or maybe that you've toured and done shows with?
Yeah. So I love Avenged Sevenfold. It's one of my favorite bands. I love Mark Tremonti, so Alter Bridge and honestly, his solo band, Tremonti is really great as well. A lot of those guys, I'm trying to think of who else, Bad Omens came out and Sleep Token, and they kind of sort of took over the rock world in a lot of ways as well. There's a lot of great bands doing stuff now. I like Slash's solo project with Miles Kennedy and everything as well.
Yep.
I don't know, man, just whatever comes on and whatever's good. There's so much good stuff now. That's what's crazy about the world we live in and technology, and there's so many bands that can put out music, and so it's really crazy. So but yeah, I love the modern sound, the heavier. I kind of took some of the time of me playing with New Year's Day and incorporated some of that, the 7-string guitars, and put that in more of a classic rock realm, and kind of combine that with the Les Paul, and kind of try to mesh those two worlds together.
That's interesting, and an interesting take. In terms of that, are you, because we have different musicians that we will speak to that come from different backgrounds and perspectives. Are you classically trained, or was this something that you pick up and learn yourself?
I wouldn't say classically trained. I did go to music school out in Musicians Institute in Hollywood. Okay. So I went, I did that from 2016 through 2019. And then right after that's when I got the touring gig with New Year's Day. But that's actually what brought me out to California in the first place, was going to college out there, Musicians Institute, like I said. So being up there and learning from all those teachers that were there, I mean, just amazing world-class musicians. And so it taught me a lot of, music theory and stuff. I would say, I mean, I don't use a whole lot of theory when I'm songwriting. I just try to keep it creative, and I hear things in my head, and make little voice memos or write things down or whatever. But it does help having that knowledge just as a musician, maybe in the back of your head or something, whether it's subconscious or whatever, just so definitely doing that, I think, brought a lot to the table.
Are there any specific guitarists that you looked back on that you took inspiration from, or that really kind of fueled your fire to learn to play guitar?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Slash. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan was a big one early on. Jimmy Page, of course. Paul Gilbert, Sinister Gates. Man, yeah, it's one of those like loaded questions. There's so many, but yeah, Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, all those guys. So,
yeah, excellent. All right, well, we're looking forward to the show. We're looking forward to you being here at the Salisbury Center in Manassas, and that's going to be here sooner than we know, in almost a week's time.
Yep,
you're going to be in this direction. That's a little bit of travel you're going to have to do to get from Canada all the way down here.
Yeah, so that'll be one of the last on on the run that we're doing. So we'll have a week or so or something, week and a half to get down there. So, but yeah, man, we're looking forward to it. We're gonna have a great time.
Absolutely,
awesome. Yep. So then that's on Thursday, April the 23rd. So hopefully everybody's going to come out to the Salisbury Center. But if not, I understand you guys are also playing in Winchester, Virginia, the next night, which isn't too far away. So a couple opportunities to catch you guys if they can't be at the Salisbury Center on Thursday the 23rd.
Absolutely. And that might kind of be the last time for a little while, because we're taking the month of May off, and then we're going to hit some other areas in June and July. And then, yeah, so hopefully everyone that's in the area can make it on out, and we'll have a great time.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time, and enjoy the travels, and we're looking forward to hanging with you here at the Salisbury Center in a little bit over a week's time.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Yeah. We'll be seeing you soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. Y'all take it easy.
And that is it, John. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you guys for watching. Tickets are on sale. SalisburyCenter.com.
Yeah. GetWild.com. Yeah, you can pick up your tickets. And it's one of a number of shows we've got coming up. This coming Saturday, April 18th, we got Priest Unleashed with Scarlet Kiss. Obviously, we talked with Austin from Gunshine, but also Silver Tongue, who's been on the show before.
Silver Tongue's a great live band also, so that's going to be a fantastic live music event.
And First Try.
First Try is another excellent live experience that you have to go be a part of.
Yep.
Yeah.
April 30th, so the week after Gunshine, is Primus.
Yes.
Along with Black Secrets.
Yes.
Who we'll be talking to next Wednesday.
Black Secrets is an Alice in Chains tribute.
Yep.
So there'll be 2 tribute acts. Primus, the great Mike Horn, who also, I want to ask him a little bit about the great Christmas light fights that he won. Right?
Now they can talk about it.
Right. That happened. That was... what's he going to be better known for? Being in Primus or the Great Christmas Light Fights?
Probably the Great Christmas Light Fight. May the 9th is Emotional Support, who's coming back to the Salisbury Center as part of the Emo Prom.
Yeah.
So I know Scott will be here for that one.
Absolutely.
May 14th, Jasmine Kane. Tons and tons of great music coming into the Salisbury Center.
Yeah.
May 16th, Urgent.
Good summer ahead of us. Yeah.
Foreigner Tribute Band. And then on May the 21st, we got A Sound of Thunder, Schumann, and Scarlet Kiss making another appearance. June 18th is the Warped Band tribute to the Warped Tour. And then the big one of the bigger ones, August the 1st is the M72 tribute with Obey Your Master, Pantera, and Red Cap Assassins.
And the M72 tribute is in the round.
That's
Just
right.
as Metallica would play a stage in the round, the M72 tribute is also going to be with pit tickets available as VIP tickets.
You can get your Snake Pit experience if you haven't done that before.
Absolutely.
So again, all of that is at getwild.com, including Stand Up and Shout Rock Show t-shirts.
Yes, and if you have not heard the Scarlet Kiss interview yet, we had that interview at this time last week, and they're a great band to kind of watch and listen to before you come out and see them on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll need to do our recap of the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame.
Yeah.
Go back and look at predictions we made and how those all panned out.
I have that mapped out.
Yeah.
I remade the chart, so I
right.
recounted the numbers.
Sweet.
I didn't do so well. I'll say that. That's a little, prelude.
Well, but Maiden got in.
Maiden got in. We both actually, that was on our list. And did you notice it went to 8 nominees or inductees as opposed to 7?
They
We picked 7.
expanded. But Mariah Carey still did not get in.
Still did not get. I'm stunned over that because I had her going in, and I had I put our 8th pick on there. So just so you know,
Okay.
we did make actually have 8 picks in terms of percentages, but I don't think that you were passionate about your 8th. I'll put it that way. I think you had him at 51%, and I think it's because I goaded you into 51 instead of 50%.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be catching up with that on an upcoming show as well.
Right. I know. All right. Well, good chat with Gunshine. You got to see Gunshine. We've seen him live, and it's very well worth it.
Great show.
Yep.
So looking forward to that one.
Absolutely.
All right. Until then.
See ya.